Hey everyone, it's Josh here. Today I interviewed the master of British accents, Billy. 오늘은 영국식 발음의 달인 Billy와 인터뷰를 했습니다. Check it out. Hello and welcome to Splash English Podcast. Wait, let me do that again because my voice was really strange.
Yeah, no problem.
Hello and welcome to Splash English Podcast. My name is Josh. Splash English에 오신 것을 환영합니다. 저는 영어 강사 Josh입니다. We have a special guest today. He is a YouTube star and the master of regional British accents. 오늘은 유튜브 스타 겸 영어 발음의 영국식 발음의 달인 Billy를 모셨습니다. How are you, Billy?
Hello, how are you? I'm great, thank you. How are you?
Okay, awesome. So Billy runs two YouTube channels. Billy는 두 가지의 유튜브 채널을 운영하는데요. 하나는 Korean Billy. 그 채널에서는 영국 발음에 대한 그 설명 비디오가 많이 있고요. Korean Billy's English라는 채널에서는 그 한국에 있는 여러분을 위해서 영어를 더 잘할 수 있는 노하우를 가르치십니다. Billy has been on major media. For example, JTBC, 한국의 JTBC라는 방송국에서 나왔고 영국에 있는 BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation도 나왔고 and also on a British game show, Virtual Famous라는 것도 나와 있었습니다 on an E4 network. How was the Virtual Famous? How did you get that Virtual Famous thing? Did they email you?
Yeah, so it's actually called Virtually Famous, and yeah, so they usually just, bring some special guests who are quite well known on the internet, not offline. So
Okay.
they
Hence
just,
the word
sent,
virtual.
yeah, that's right. So they just sent me an email and they just wanted to, have me as a guest. So I appeared. So I used Skype because I couldn't actually go there. And at that time, I lived in Korea, and I am now living in Korea as well. So yeah, I used Skype, and my face, just appeared at their studio and had a great time.
That's wonderful. Too bad they didn't buy you a plane ticket to Britain. But at least you were there through Skype. So Billy, can you tell us your background? 그러면 짧은 자기소개를 좀 해주시겠어요? So
네.
where did you grow up? When did you start learning English? What's your favorite color? What's your bank account number and password?
Oh my God, even my bank account. Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So my Korean name is Songjae, but I'm more known as Korean Billy, and obviously my English name is Billy. And I was actually born in Busan, which is a port city of South Korea. So I was just born and raised in South Korea, and now I'm living in Seoul. And yeah, I just got really interested in English language, just English itself, when I was very, very young, like when I was like 6, 7 years old. So since then, I have been studying English for a long time. And when I was a high school student, I got really fascinated by British English. So since then, I've been studying British English like over 8 years up to now. So I didn't actually go to the UK very often, so I only lived in the UK for about 6 months as an exchange student when I was a university student. So that was all. So I'm really hoping to visit the UK again. So that's why I'm studying British English really hard as well.
So of course you got influenced by all these, dramas, TV series. But what about speaking? You're
Right.
teaching English in a way.
Right.
So when did you start to feel very comfortable teaching in English?
So even now, like, I don't think my English is like perfect. I don't think so, because yeah, still sometimes I feel a bit uncomfortable because English is not my, mother tongue. But I really tried hard to speak in English just, as many times as possible, just as much as possible. And for doing that, I just try to listen as many native speakers as possible and just try to copy their lips and their just mouth movements and how their mouths look. I just try to copy them, and I just try to listen to the native speakers and just try to find out how they, make the pronunciation, like certain pronunciations. So I just try to watch just as many British TV shows and films as possible because that was the only way I could just hear their accents and pronunciation. So I just tried to copy just everyone like a kid trying to learn a first language.
So right, you mentioned that you copy proactively. So what does it look like? You're sitting at home in front of a computer. Maybe you play a scene from a drama or movie, and then you just stop and you just repeat right afterwards. Is that how it works? When you
Yeah,
say
so
copy?
so like I think like enjoying learning a language is also really important. So I just watched what I liked. So I just watched, some British films or TV shows I was interested in.
But the
So
question I'm asking is, you're
yeah,
like sitting at home and you're actually speaking out loud.
right.
Is
So just while
is that a
watching my favorite TV shows
Okay,
and
okay.
films
So
and
because what I tell many of my students is that they don't do enough of that, right? So many of my
hmm
students, right, I teach them a phrase, a word, and then okay, apple means 사과, apple 먹다, 사과를 먹다, and they are
hmm
very happy that they got to know the meaning of the word or phrase. But
hmm
what my students don't do is they don't take it to the next step, which is you have to speak
right,
out loud.
right.
And that's something you were about to gloss over. And so I wanted to stop you because for those of you who are listening to this podcast right now,
hmm
like if you learn the phrase 사과를 먹다, I eat an apple, all right, don't just understand and be happy. You have to repeat afterwards, say it
Right,
out
right.
loud many times, couple times. How many times do you say you repeat after a word or phrase or sentence?
So like before speaking out loud, I had to get familiar with like what they pronounced. So after getting familiar with just listening to them, I just try to like speak out loud. I think like at first I just watched the episode just without speaking out loud, but for the second time I just tried to speak out and just repeat after the characters, British characters. So I just try to repeat and repeat again. And sometimes I also just, recorded my voice and just played back. And that is like totally different because
Mm-hmm.
that's while just speaking out loud without recording, I just sometimes thought my pronunciation was okay, but with the audio file, I just found I could just find out a lot of mistakes what I had missed. So I think recording my reading and my practicing pronunciation is also really, really helpful to learn pronunciation.
And how many hours did you spend doing this process?
Well, at least, let me think, at least 2 hours a day, I think. So I did that every day. So I think doing that every day is the most important.
So 2 hours every day. 2 hours is how long a movie is. Billy, do you know what I do when I watch a movie on my computer?
hmm
I double speed a movie. So I don't even
Oh,
spend the two
wow.
hours watching a movie. I spend like, maybe less than an hour.
Right,
But
right.
anyway, that's not the point. The point is, everybody, if you're listening to this, like Billy spent 2 hours every day just doing that, recording himself, speaking out loud. So, maybe you can't do 2 hours every day, but maybe you can do 10 minutes, 20 minutes a day. But
Right,
try
right,
it,
right.
because, and yeah, when you record yourself on a voice recorder, of course, first you're gonna hate yourself because everybody hates their voice.
Right, right.
But you went through that process every day. So once again, I just wanted to emphasize and let everybody know that you have to speak out loud. You can copy, you can record yourself, whatever
Right.
it might be.
hmm
Okay, Billy. So my next question would be: you're like an expert in all this like weird regional British accents.
hmm
Where do you find all this information? How do you do your research?
So like for the Liverpool dialect, I had a lot of like classmates from Liverpool while
Mm-hmm.
living in the UK as an exchange student. So I asked a lot about Liverpool dialect from my classmates, but I am now in Korea and I don't have any classmates around me at the moment. So I sometimes just ask my classmates from other regions online and they just teach me online sometimes. And I also read a lot of, local newspapers because local newspapers also feature their own dialect for their articles as
And they're
well.
available online.
Yeah, definitely. Just for free, you know. So I also also read a lot of, news articles from local newspapers, and there are also different, a lot of YouTubers from different regions. Like there are definitely some British YouTubers who are from Newcastle or Manchester or just Wales, Irish. So I also try to just watch a lot of, different YouTube videos
Hmm.
from different YouTubers, and I also just try to get what they are, how their accents are.
I think what makes you an expert in this field, I think, are two qualities. Number one, you're very thorough. Like,
Hmm.
local newspaper, YouTube, forums, online groups. You just go find anywhere, any way you can. And
Hmm.
and the second quality that I think is what makes you an effective learner is, I think, your attention to details. I think
Hmm.
you're able to pay attention to different accents and really study how their lips are moving, what kind
Right.
of words they're using. So, the a segue to this is that, what advice do you have for Korean people who
Hmm.
want to improve their accent, British or American, otherwise? Because I think even if we hear
Hmm.
and we can tell, oh, yeah, it's kind of different, but we don't know why it's different.
Right.
So how can we become better at paying attention to details, and how can we learn to improve our accent?
So I think like for Koreans, they just tend to, write every English word into Korean letters, but Kore the way Koreans pronounce Korean and pronounce English, and the way people pronounce English is totally different,
Hmm.
because like in Korean letters we can't really pronounce English very well because it's like Korean accent English. So I think just for learning English accent, we just, get out of the Korean letters and just Korean accents, and we just need to just start from the beginning for just totally different accent. And yeah, so, and as I said before, I think like listening a lot is the most important, because just by listening, we have to get used to, that accent. And by getting used to that accent, we can finally just imitate that, accent. So for me, still listening is the most important. And we need to get out of the Korean accent, or, the accent of the first language.
Let's see. Yeah, because if you rewrite it using Korean letters, then like you're interpreting those letters, and when you look at the Korean letters, like you're
Right.
hearing the Korean sound. So I think the first step is, if you are using Hangul,
Mm-hmm.
put it aside. And the second step would be listen a lot,
Mm-hmm.
and that kind of ties into, if accent is what you're trying to improve, then maybe don't rely on visual medium, but
Mm-hmm.
instead focus on the sound. Just listen a lot and speak a lot.
Right.
So many Koreans are very concerned about their accent. They become embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any advice for those people?
Well, it is always nice to have like better pronunciation, but I think like Korean people are a little bit like too obsessed with the perfect pronunciation.
Hmm.
So like as long as like we can communicate with other people in English, like that's not a big problem actually, because we learn English to just, talk to other people in English, or just communicate with other people. We don't learn British English or just American English to get the perfect scores like an athlete, like Olympic athlete, right?
Hmm.
So I think like my advice would be just, to just enjoy learning, the English language. And
What if
yeah,
I can't enjoy? I don't enjoy learning English.
right. So, I'm not sure because
Okay.
I always do enjoy learning English,
You always
but
enjoy learning
yeah,
English.
but
Okay.
some people just try to learn just English to get a job, or to, for other reasons. But yeah, I think just, like I would really like to say to Korean people that native speakers don't really care about, pronunciation. I think Yeah, so some people are really worried that the native speakers would just laugh at me like that because the pronunciations is not really great. But I think no, just not any just native speaker would care about their accent or pronunciation if like as long as they can just communicate or like talk to them just in English. So just I'd like to say you don't really need to worry that much about the pronunciation. So just, focus on just talking to people in English or just how to communicate with other people in English. So that would, reduce some burden for English learners.
All right, Billy, before I ask you the last question, I just want to do a little fun exercise. Coach me,
Okay.
teach me some British accent.
Okay.
So just to pick one funny word or
Okay, I will teach you some Liverpool accent.
okay.
And the typical phrase would be this one. I'd like some chicken for my brekkie.
Okay.
That's because of the, K sound. They pronounce K like H, that kind of sound. So they say chicken and brekkie for breakfast. So you have to repeat after me. I'd like some chicken for my brekkie.
I'd like some chicken for brekkie.
Very well. Well done, well done.
Well done. A plus.
A, not plus, but A, but well done. Very good.
Thanks.
So, like in Liverpool, like people say brekkie for breakfast. They
Brekkie.
even use different words. So, yeah, that's good.
Thanks. Okay. That was fun. All right, Billy. Just last, I want to do a very quick round of questions. I'm going to ask you rapid fire questions. So just answer very quickly for me, please. Favorite color?
Blue.
Favorite book?
Grammar news.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. If you are an English learner in Korea, then everybody used
Yeah.
that book at least once in their lifetime.
Right.
Okay. How many hours of sleep do you get every day?
6 hours.
A leader or businessman or anybody that you respect or you admire?
I respect Anderson Cooper. He's a CNN journalist.
Okay. All right. So a word of encouragement to our Korean listeners. 격려의 말씀 한 가지.
네. I think Korean people are getting too much stress to perfect their English skill. But like the reason why we learn the English language is to meet new people and talk to various interesting other people in English. So what I really want to say is just to enjoy learning the English language and just imagine what you will do after being fluent in English, and that will really encourage you to learn English more because you will like after learning English, very hard, you will be able to talk to many other people in English and you can see the world, differently and you can just meet the new world. So keep up the good work and do enjoy learning English language.
Well, Billy, thank you for coming to our show today. Thank you
my
so
pleasure.
much. Good luck with the YouTube channel.
So
Everyone,
much.
please check Billy's YouTube channel. Again, just type Korean Billy
Billy?
on YouTube and you'll be able to find his channel.
Great.
All right. Take care, Billy.
Thank you.
So what did you think about the podcast, everybody? 팟캐스트에 대해서 어떻게 생각하세요? So I just wanted to add something. 빌리가 한 말에 제가 한 가지 추가하고 싶은데, so Billy said a couple of things. He said, well, enjoy learning English. And many people have different reasons to learn English. Some people need English for job, for tests. I think 그것도 좋고, 그러니까 맨 처음에 그 취업을 하기 위해서 또는 시험을 점수를 따야 돼서 영어 공부한다 이런 모티베이션으로 시작해도 저는 괜찮다고 생각하지만 만약에 이게 계속 이어가서 만약에 계속 지속적으로 영어를 할 거라면 역시 영어에 대한 어느 정도의 관심이라든지 영어를 그냥 그 즐겁게 그냥 영어를 공부할 수 있는 그런 태도가 있어야 된다고 생각하고요. He also said you want to think about what you're going to do after you learn to speak English well. 영어 스피킹이 또 영어가 잘 할 수 있게 된 그 후에 무엇을 할 것이냐, 영어를 가지고 무엇을 할 것이냐라는 그런 말도 했었습니다. So I have a couple of thoughts about this. 그래서 제가 그런 것도 여러분과 함께 고민하면서 여러 가지 생각했는데, 그래서 영어가 잘하면은 더 여러 가지 일을 할 수 있다는 것을 여러분들한테도 보여드리기 위해서 제가 이런 식으로 팟캐스트를 시작한 거고, 그리고 여러 전문 분야의 여러 전문가들한테 팟캐스트를 하면서, so for example, 예를 들어서 I have my friend Juyeon. She is a foreign investor manager. 외국 투자자랑 그 커뮤니케이션 하는 그런 분이 계시고요. I also have an HR consultant, 박현섭 씨 HR consultant도 이렇게 외국에 이렇게 그 취업에 관련된 그런 것에 대해서도 그 공유했고요. I also have my friend Dunya, 그 타임 매니지먼트 소프트웨어 개발 회사에서 일하고 있는 두냐한테도 이렇게 영어를 잘 함으로써 이런 여러 가지 그런 다양한 업종과 직업을 가지고 이렇게 여러 재미있는 프로젝트도 해보고 돈 벌고 일을 할 수 있다라는 것을 여러분도 나중에 볼 수 있으니까 그런 것들도 제 splashenglish.com/iTunes로 가시면은 그런 팟캐스트 내용들이 다 나와 있으니 한번 들어보고 영어가 잘하고 나서 내가 무엇을 할 수 있느냐 이런 것에 대해서도 여러분 조금 생각해보면 어떨까 생각합니다. Anyway, thanks for tuning in and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.